It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información, coming to you live DFS edition for this Saturday slate, tipping off at noon Eastern. We're happy that you joined us to break it down and get this bread. My name is Jay Heinrich. If you don't know, now you know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. Joined tonight on your viewing device by the man around here known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship, I do the train. At MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, good to be back in these DFS streets. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I love that we have just an 8-gamer, right? Awesome slate of college hoops basically all day tomorrow. I'm looking at this prize pool, man, and I'm like, let's go. I love when we start getting these big prize pools. A lot of contestants in this 5K to first. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, Jay, old number One and Done Invitational 16 is live for
Let's go.
All the breadheads out there to dive in. As Forklift says, what up in the chat? What up, Forklift? Dive into that tourney, man. Want to see you.
Right there, that QR code that's right next to my dome. Scan your, use whatever device, take your pictures, scan your codes, do whatever. Get over there or grab that link that's flashed up on your screen right now by Eric the Blue behind the scenes tonight, pushing the buttons. Good to see Eric again for sure. Yeah, our guy Jeremy. He's had a nice few days in those DFS streets himself. Good to see Forklift in the chat. Join him by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. He said he's already in the One and Done Invitational, a.k.a. the MC Holland 34 Invitational. Get over there on DraftKings. Drop your $5 and hop in there with your favorite hoop heads. Have a little bit of fun, win a little bit of money, get some bragging rights. You know, that's what we do around here. So, Mike, let's get to this 8-game slate, though. Like you said, a 5K to first. Ooh, love it when those prize pools get up there in size. Give us a quick overview, Mike, before we dive in game by game.
Yeah, so tough pricing. That's just how it goes when you get to this point of the season. We talk about it every show, right? It's like kind of looking for like the injury, right? Who's the backup that's going to get minutes? Injury news is obviously important in all the sports, but in CBB it's just hard to like track it down to the last minute. So you got to kind of know what your game plan is going into it. Tough pricing on the slate. We've got some ugly looking games that we're going to talk about, especially the first one. We got Boozer on the slate. Got to decide what we're going to do with him, of course. There's some teams on here with some really annoying rotations, and the value is sticky at best, man. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one, and I think a weird lineup will probably win it all tomorrow.
I like it when we get a little weird on this show. I think you guys know that. If you've been hanging around with us long enough, you know, I just get a little weird. Get a little weird. Whatever you got to do to get those commas, chase those commas and get this bread. So hit all those buttons if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, notification bells. Darren hopping in there asking, can he be the plane? Can he fly the plane? Darren, I don't know. Are we trusting you to fly the One and Done plane? Get back to me on that. Maybe like a hang gliding thing. Maybe the hang glider. You could do that. Nice. And our guy Eric dibs on the motorboat. Hey, you could drive the yacht too. Oh, all right. Anyways, good to see you in there, Eric. Shout out to Nape too on the moon somewhere. Our guy Nape's somewhere. Oh, he's on his way back from the moon. Excellent, yeah. Good stuff. Hop in the live chat, Nape, if you're hanging out there in One and Done land, and hop in there and join Darren and Eric and Forklift if you haven't already. Mike, let's start to it. Let's get to it game by game.
Let's start to it.
An 8-gamer, like you said, Mike. We've been talking 9-game slates, 10-game slates. Now we get an 8-gamer going to be able to settle in a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. That might limit our options. We'll see what it looks like by the time we get done with this show. First game on the agenda is Clemson on the road, hanging out with the Blue Devils. A 133-point implied total, according to KenPom's metrics.
What a game.
I don't even we'll spend 30 seconds on it. All right. I mean, Clemson might be the most annoying DFS team in the entire galaxy with their rotations. and Duke is the third highest rated defensive efficiency team in the country. So are we looking at anything on this Clemson side?
Implied for 60 points? No, I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. The two guards are really annoying. Justin Porter, Dylan Hunter. The fact that Ace Buckner is now more expensive than him just kind of tells you how well he's been playing lately as we throw up our one and done projections on here. So you can see the value there, kind of what we're projecting. This is very matchup based. So a little bit different than probably what you'll find around the industry. But yeah, when you look at Porter, like, he's played 30 plus minutes in 10 straight games. So you like that, but the problem is that all he really does is shoot the ball. He doesn't do anything else, as evidenced by the last 4 games. He hasn't had more than 14 fantasy points. And at 4,800, that's not really going to cut it. And then, Dylan Hunter burned everybody. He was dirt cheap like he is on this slate last time. 12 fantasy points because he only has a 15% usage rate in conference and doesn't really do anything else because the bigs gobble up so many rebounds, and it's just kind of one of those things, man. This is not a team that generates a lot of stocks. You're not going to get a lot of offensive opportunities, man. If you want to take a shot on like a Carter Welling or a Nick Davidson, those would be the two guys I would maybe look at. But honestly, Jay, you said spend 30 seconds. I spent way more than that. I'd probably crossing off Clemson because it's just too much of a headache. Like, although we may be forced to take a few shots just kind of based on the context of the slate because the value isn't quite there. Some shots at Nick Davidson at 4,900, or you just think Dylan Hunter can just do anything, or Porter can make a few shots. Like, they may be worth it, but I don't see any of these guys being very popular in this total.
Well, you talked about getting weird, and a weird one might be the one that takes home the big prize. And what would be weird is if you look and say, "Oh, why did I win 5K?" Oh, because I picked the right Clemson guy. Not something that you necessarily want to have be your 100% plan going in. But if you're playing multi-entry stuff and we're trying to find value and Dylan Hunter is staring you in the face at 4,300, it's a decision that we're probably going to have to look at least once or twice. The live chat's already on fire. I got Cam hopping in there, the godfather of Iowa bowling. Good to see you, my man. The Schnabs hopping in there. You haven't played much DFS. Very sorry to hear about your dad passing, man. And we're glad that you're here hanging out with us. Whatever it is that we can do to help you through this, we're glad that you're hanging out with us here on One and Done. We're going for those commas, man. Let's get a win, my man. Good luck to you. Stan hopping in there as well. What it do, baby? Did anyone win 5K last tournament? Not in this chat, my friend, but that's what we're going for on this Saturday slate. So good to see you, man. Thanks for hopping in the live chat. Let's get to the other side of this game, Mike, the Duke side. You mentioned it in your open. It's always a question of whether or not we're going to play or we're going to fade Cam Boozer, right? 10,800 is the price tag. We're looking at a mid-February slate, and the value is rough. So if we're going to spend up for Cam Boozer, we're going to want some of those 43, 48 that we've seen. But honestly, if I don't feel like I can get to 50 here, right, 50, 60, which is the ceiling, right? We know the massive ceiling is there. But this game environment is disgusting. You're making me almost pay $11K for him. Yeah. It's probably not the slate I'm going to hang my hat on a lot of Cam Boozer. But then again, that's the contrarian play maybe if you want to get a little bit different. What do you got here, Mike?
Yeah, it's tough to play anything in this. Look at Evans, 6,400. Really shot dependent. I just hate these guys when they get to 6,500, 7K that are shot dependent. Although he's got a solid stock floor, so he's just kind of okay. Not for a 5K, right? Caleb Foster, he's too expensive now. Even though he's played 33 and 34 minutes, like, just in this game environment, you're not going to bank on him going for 31 fantasy points again like he did last game. It's probably going to be living in the mid-teens. And then Malik Brown, Ngongba is questionable with the wrist. He missed last game. If we get these out again, Malik Brown at 4,600 becomes a lot better because his 5K and burned everybody that played him last time. Boozer moved to the 5 in the second half to start, and they just brought Brown off the bench because he got in foul trouble in the first half. So, yeah, I do have a lot of interest in Malik Brown once again, even in an ugly environment, just because he's a guy that can rack. He has a 7.5% stock rate. So, just kind of one of those things that, you're looking for value. It's Malik Brown. I think he's kind of sneaky because he burned everybody last time. So, yeah, I think we maybe have to look here at a Malik Brown. So, pretty much all I got from this game, man. This is just, the 133 total is just disgusting.
It's tough, man. And again, the talent's there. Isaiah Evans is obviously a guy at that price tag with being able to put him anywhere in your lineup. It's enticing. It's just tough, man. Again, you talked about the Ngongwa news with Malik Brown. We'll see. But it's tough. Just an awful game environment for sure. All right, let's get in that live chat. Let's keep it going. Stan Q's saying Boozer is a dog. We know, man, but this game environment sucks at 10.8K, my man. It's going to be tough to click him too many times. We would love to hear your opinion if you're playing Cam Boozer. Hop in the live chat. Let us know right now what you're doing. Are you fading him? Are you playing him? Are you splitting 50-50? What's your take on that? We'd love to hear from you. Hit the buttons if you haven't already. Second game on this one, man, is Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. Mike, 147 implied points, a lot better than 133, but still not, the most exciting, right? 67 possessions expected according to all the metrics. You got Georgia Tech 32nd in tempo and Notre Dame 282nd. So a pace up for the Fighting Irish. But let's start on the Georgia Tech side, Mike. Rotation's a bit of a mess with them being 11 and 14. You got guys questionable. Nobody projects over 3.5K on our stats, Mike. Do you have any thoughts on this Georgia Tech side?
It's kind of tough to go with Georgia Tech here, man. As you can see, pulling this up, and you got a Kai Fleming. It's just 4,500. I'm probably not going there, man. It's a pretty tough spot for all of these guys. 69 implied total, thelow pace here. It's just not really worth it. Kwesi Reese takes a lot of shots, but there's just so many better spots, especially when you look at, you can already see on the board here, these Notre Dame guys. This is the spot you want to attack. You don't really want to be messing with these weird rotations on the Georgia Tech side, man.
Well, let's just get to
just because he's cheap.
Let's get to that Notre Dame side, man. Cole Serta, 5,800, 21% usage rate, 25% shot rate. This is you look at this projection, and again, Mike, you talked about it a little bit ago. A lot of what goes into these, it's matchup based. There's some things that we're working out. We wanted to show everybody sort of what goes into our thoughts as we're preparing for these shows and give you guys and gals an idea of the types of things that we're looking at that help give us some of the success that we like to have and that we obviously want you to have. Some of these projections are going to maybe feel a little bit hot, and the Serta one definitely does, but he's going to be 36 to 38 minutes. He's going to take a bunch of shots, right? He's taken 46 shots in the last 3 games.
Sheesh.
He takes 9 threes a game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
9 threes a game. You look at what he's put up in fantasy points, 25, 22, 27, 15. That can't happen. But there's a 40 spot within his last 5 games, Mike. So at minimum, you've got a really solid floor play here. But can you just accept the fact in this spot that you're going to get 22, 23? That's probably not going to win you all the money. But from a floor perspective, I think he's a nice play, man. What else do we got here, though? 3 other guys. I'm talking a lot about Serta here. There's 3 other guys that are really popping off on these projections.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I think you brought it up really well. Still Serta, it's he's probably not going to win you a tournament, but if you're playing single entry or just you want somebody that is going to have a solid floor, you just kind of have to play him. The rest of these guys, man, Harrelson's more in that cash type too, right? He just doesn't have a massive ceiling. He can get up into the 34s and 35s, but at 7K, it's a little bit tougher, especially because he's really shot dependent. When I first did these projections, I was looking at the forward spot, and I was like, man, first of all, you have to accept, Jay, that somehow Notre Dame is going to score 78 points. I don't think they're going to score 78 points. So that's why you're saying some of these projections are a little bit hot. If you project these guys for 74 or 73, they're going to start looking, pretty average, and their upside is going to, it's just not going to quite be there, man. But I think Brady Kaler and Carson Tout being in that low 5K range, these are guys that have 25 in their bag. That's perfect for a tournament. Now, Tout, he's got to make a few shots, only a 12.5% shot rate, but he's got a huge rebounding rate, one of the best rebounders, in the ACC. Just doesn't get a lot of minutes. I'm projected for about 23. Kaler's a boom bust frosh, man. He's been at 25 or more in 3 of the last 5. He had a 44 piece not too long ago. I think I was talking to you like a month or two ago. I'm like, why are they not playing? Marcus Burton's out for the year. Why are they not playing their young guys? And yeah, this guy looks like $1 million. Plus, he can do a little bit more than rebound. So I think he's just a really solid tournament play. But if you think that Kim Palm's right and they're going to somehow get to 78 points, these dudes they're all too cheap, except for Harrelson, really. Like, Sir Muhammad is also an interesting cheapie, kind of a large field GPP option. I initially put him at 20 minutes, and it's like, whoa, his projection kind of went off the charts. I steamed him down a little bit to 18 minutes, and still looks good because he's got a decent assist rate. He's been taking some shots. He could literally play 13 to 14 minutes in the spot. So there's a lot of risk with this Notre Dame side, man. But initial projections on how the hell they can get to 78, well, these guys have to put up production, you know? One, you have to ask yourself, can they get close to 80? Two, obviously the pace up helps with Georgia Tech, but two, like, which one of these four, like, we have to kind of figure out who's going to do something in this game. So I don't think you can play multiple guys. Shrewsbury, not projecting as big here because it's really the shot rate with Shrewsbury. He has to make a ton of shots. So that's really all he does. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't, he's got sub 15% assist rate. He doesn't create stocks. So that's what it looks like.
And when he's hot, man, when he's hitting, there's very few guys that you want to just keep having those heat checks in the country. Shrewsbury, when he is on, I get it, but it's not always the case, right? And then they go away from him, and then it's like, oh, by the time he can start to heat up again, he's not going to be able to build the volume that you might need if you're spending 6,100 on him. If he didn't start the game out hot, we'll see if he can get there. The live chat is on fire, including the king of the single entry, our guy Corey hopping in there. The Valentine's Day slate at Fancy Steakhouse, 8-9. Yeah, well, I mean, as the king of the single entry, I'm sure that you could probably fork up for a nice meal, my friend. But either way, good to see you in the live chat, Corey. Josh hopping in there. Yo, what it do? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, man. Chat's looking sharp. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling as we are moving along here. What do we got? What's next on this one? TCU and Oklahoma State. All right. I mean, can we get a little bit more excited about this one, Mike?
Yeah, a little bit, at least on one side.
Okay. I'll take it, honestly, right? I'll take it. 153 implied points here according to KenPom's metrics. And again, that's a reminder, the numbers and the values that you see there at the bottom of the screen, obviously, that might not be what it looks like at your local book, but using the metrics that we use, this is how we come up with some of these numbers here, right? So Oklahoma State and TCU here. Oklahoma State 11th in tempo, and TCU is not exactly slow either, right? So 71 possessions expected. I like that a lot. Let's start on the Horned Frog side. Predicted for 75 points. Basically played 7 guys last time out against the Cyclones of Iowa State. And we've got a nice projection for Edmonds here, right? Xavier Edmonds at 7,100. Look at some of the numbers he's put up in his last 5. I see the 25 there, but then we got 41.5, we got 29, we got 36.5, we got 39. And at 7,100, right? Okay, where can I find somebody who I feel like can get me 40? Where's the matchup that lines up? And where am I not going to have to pay $9K for it? Edmonds fits that bill. This is a good matchup, solid pace. He's going to probably play about 30 minutes, right? He should be able to rack up fantasy points in a hurry. For tournaments, he's going to need to take 9 or 10 shots, right, Mike? He's absolutely going to have to get some shots off on this one. And I'm going to need him to not turn the ball over. That's what I would like anybody to do. But for Edmonds to pay this off the way that we want him to, he's going to have to cut down those turnovers as well. His price point kind of puts him in right in the middle of no man's land, right? You're not really paying up big money for him, but he's not in that 5K range either. So I don't know, man, a solid play, I think, especially with what he has been putting up and the type of game environment that you're looking for. Sometimes you just got to spend a little bit less to spend more to get more. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Edmonds could play that role on your squad.
Yeah, I think one of these guys, one of these forwards, man, Punch, Warren saying that he destroyed Oklahoma State last game. So, here's the thing, right? Like, he's got more outs. It's tough though, man. Like, he was 9,400 at one point. So, like, Yes, he absolutely has ceiling. He had a 47 a few weeks ago. He absolutely can get there. So both of these forwards project really well here, well over 4x in our matchup sims here. So, yeah, I think for tournaments, you're probably wanting to get one or the other. Although Micah Robinson's been playing really well lately too, and you can save some coin, which is kind of needed on the slate. He's 5,600, and Jay's been at 28.5 and 26.5, and he's seen an uptick in minutes in the last couple of games, right? So when you look at his rates, they're pretty solid across the board. In that 5K range, right? Or a little more expensive than those Notre Dame forwards that we were talking about. But yeah, I'm willing to take some shots on these guys. Obviously, they project really well. I'm kind of off the guards, man. Pierre's just I'm done playing him, man. Unless he's like 4K, I'm not playing him. Tanner Toolston, he went off against Iowa State in 27 minutes off the bench, which was tied for a season high in minutes. You think he keeps it going? Like he's a cheap flyer in a pace up spot for them on the road. I don't know that I'm going to get there, but definitely worth a look. So yeah, some solid options over here on the TCU side, especially in tournaments.
Forklift in the chat asking, is 3 TCU guys too many?
Yeah, it's only 75 implied. I mean, it's probably too many because, like, as much as I don't like Pierre, and he's still got a decent shot rate. Brock Harding has the ball in his hands a little bit, so yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably just sticking to like picking a one-off from these forwards in this game.
Somebody in the chat said they were thinking about playing Edmonds. I missed it. And Punch. There we go, right there. I mean, like, listen, we know if this rotation stays as tight as it has, if they go over even a little bit here, like, I get it. You're spending all of your money here, though, on this one game. There might be some better team totals down the road in some better situations. We'll see if we can get there. But again, I do like the Edmonds matchup a lot, and I could definitely understand chasing Punch's ceiling. How about the Oklahoma State side? 10 or 11 guys are going to play. Don't love that. Basically the opposite of what we were seeing on the other side of the court here. It's kind of hard to pinpoint which one of these guys are going to go off. It's one of the ultimate, like, spin the wheels. That you don't know if it's going to be Kanye Clary, right, at 6,800. He hasn't really shot it well recently, 4 for 21 in his last 3 games, but he's still able to rack up 28 or more fantasy points in 2 of those 3 games. And if I'm going to pay over 5K for somebody and they're not going to hit shots, you better be able to come up with some statistics on the outer banks of fantasy land, and Clary's found a way to do that as well. He's got upside, but this price tag, it's hard for him to get to more than 30 probably. So, like, if you're trying to clear 4X, it's going to be tough, man. I'm probably going to pass on most of these guys, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, spin the wheel. Like Anthony Roy, a streaky shooter, 7,400. I'm not paying for him. Parsapala, he was at one point he was the greatest center of all time. About a month ago when I wasn't playing him and I was taking all of his under some points props, and he absolutely crushed me. But 31.5 against ASU. Probably about the ceiling in this one. He doesn't play more than 28 minutes, which is kind of a problem with Punch and Edmonds. Like, they don't really play more than 30 minutes. So it's kind of hard to, I just don't think you want to go crazy here, because we're going to talk about, we got Michigan coming up. We got some better game environments coming up. But I do think we went off on one of the TCU forwards, and I think probably leave Oklahoma State alone unless you want to play it, Clary. Because if he ever hits shoots 60% from the floor, and he's gonna throw up a 40 spot. So he just hasn't shot it well. I don't know, man. It's some better spots here, but definitely some tournament plays. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Clary. And there's 1,500 teams in the Big Jam tomorrow, so.
A little bit of dinero to be won there, and that's why you're here hanging out with us on One and Done, and we definitely appreciate you for doing that. So if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Show your broskies in basketball some love near this wonderful Valentine's Day, and for this Valentine's Day slate, hit those buttons if you haven't already. A lot of you watched that instant reaction we had to the Florida win the other night. That we definitely appreciate everybody that hung around and checked that one out and pushed all those buttons. We hope that you're hanging out with us tonight too to get this bread on this DFS slate. Good to see everybody in the live chat as well. Let's keep it rolling. UCLA at Michigan, 152 implied points on this total, Mike. So sort of in that same area in terms of totals as the game prior here. I hate UCLA's I hate how many of these teams just play so slow, and I'm trying to have to figure out how are they going to maximize these possessions, man? And I get that 8 guys. It's not like it's 11 guys playing for UCLA. They got 8 guys that check in, right? And we do know that the backcourt's going to play big minutes. There's a little bit of an issue here as at the time of recording is that Sky Clark actually has the questionable tag for that with the hammy, right? He's been out since early January.
Yeah, sounds like he's close. So
he's right there, right? So let's focus on the implied total sucks, right? But it is a pace up. Michigan's top 10 in tempo, right? So maybe they go. It's a 16-point spread here. Michigan with the blowout potential, as Darren said in the chat. What does that mean for a guy like Donovan Dent, right? 9K flat, no need to worry. My accountant handles that. Sometimes you just got to keep a game close, right? And if somehow the Bruins can keep it close, Dent is going to play 36 minutes. He just is. If he's not in foul trouble, he's going to be on the court, right? The tourney upside is there for Donovan Dent, but it's on the road. There might just be there are better spend up options in that 9K or higher range. It's just a tough total for the team. And even though they're getting paced up here, Michigan is, Michigan. So what do you feel about this UCLA side, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I can't, especially if Scott Clark comes in, he's just going to destroy everyone, even though everyone's kind of already destroyed based on just kind of ceiling high price. Trent Perry's been playing awesome, but he's 7,200. I don't know that I want to play him against a really tough defense, even though they play fast and can blow you out. Bilodeau, that's just a tough matchup. 8K against Johnson, Lindeborg, and Mara. Eric Daly, more of a 4 guy. I'm not interested in that for tournaments. Sky Clark plays with the hammy. I'm not really interested in that, Jay. So probably crossing off, as Warren said, it's been a long time since he's played somebody from UCLA. In DFS, yeah, not the most fantasy friendly Cronin offense there, but yeah, there's some plays on this Michigan side, man, that we can attack.
84 implied points on that Michigan side. Outside of Lindeborg in those close games, man, not many guys are getting over 30 minutes on this side. We got the 3 bigs that you mentioned earlier, right? Lindeborg, Johnson, and Mara. And the one that projects the best for us here is Johnson at 7,300, 20% usage rate, 20.5% shot rate, 34% rebound rate. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. And a 5% block rate, right? A lot of where that being the best projection, a lot of where that lies does have to do with this price tag, right? 2,400 cheaper than Lindeborg. And you get a lot of the same type of rate upside, right? But again, it was mentioned in the chat, the problem is a blowout here. Even with the blowout, though, Mike, Johnson and Mara can go crazy in these type of games. Still a really solid tournament option. Again, another guy that I like in that low 7K range that this is, again, if they can keep this close, he's somebody that projects really well for us.
Yeah, I mean, when they blow teams out, it's kind of Lindeborg that gets shut down to 20. When they're in the close games, Lindeborg will play 37 minutes. When they're in these blowouts, Lindeborg's minutes are the ones that get knocked down to into the high 20s. And then you see, a little bit of a haircut for Mara and for Johnson. But for the most part, even if it's a blowout, you'll see Johnson out there grabbing rebounds and getting to a double-double late, 2 minutes in the game. Because they got to play, one of these 3 bigs most, even when the game's out of control. So it's typically Johnson or it's typically Mara. Obviously, Mara's 8,600. Not going to project as well. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of exposure to Morris Johnson. And then this backcourt, Elliot Cadeau went off the other day in the first half. And then he got benched in the second half. And honestly, it looks like LJ Kaysen and Trey McKinney are coming on a lot stronger than probably what we could have predicted. And I don't want to say they're going to usurp him, but it's getting pretty close to to be in a timeshare, which I don't love for Cadeau. So he's going to project good.
No.
But there's just, it's tough, man. Because you look at the team total, well, it's his assist rate is, going to give him He's gonna get 6. He had 6 assists in the first half the other day before getting benched. He had like 19 fantasy points. So yeah, could he absolutely rack up fantasy points? 100%. I think he's kind of an interesting turning option, but man, like his arrow is kind of pointing downwards right now. So yeah, I think for me, it's kind of play some Johnson. If you think that, I just don't think this can be a close game, man. This is a tough matchup for UCLA.
Legitimate question here in the chat. Could Danny Wolf start for this Michigan team?
Yeah, that's a funny question. That's crazy though, right?
Former projected lottery pick Danny Wolf. No, we used to have fun with Danny Wolf on this show, but obviously like NBA player, funny stuff though, Darren. Good stuff. All right, hit the like and subscribe buttons if you have not already. Loving how active the chat is tonight. Let's keep that rolling. We love it even if you don't agree with us. Like that is allowed here on this show. You can disagree with the things that we say. It's okay. We want to hear from you. We'd love to tell you why the thoughts that go into what we're doing and why we think the things that are going to happen are going to happen. Share it with us in the chat, man. We'd love to hear from you, and let's keep the chat rolling. Yeah, maybe the godfather of Iowa bowling will hop in later on and drop some knowledge in there for everybody. We'll see, our guy Cam. But keep it rolling. Stan's doing a good job in the chat. We'd love to see it. As we move on now to this next game, a 165 implied total here. A little bit better, right? We're not in the 140s. We're not even in the 150s anymore. But then you see one of the teams is Texas A&M, who plays 17 million guys that check in at the table, right? Like everybody's playing 16 minutes. Nobody has, it's hard to get your thumb on anybody's pulse at any given time. What that allows for, though, obviously, Mike, is a pretty cheap price tag on some of these guys. And a lot of people are probably going to be choosing between a Marcus Hill or a Jakari Lane as that value saver option. There, Hill is at 4,900, who's played better recently, but both guys are capable of getting to 20 fantasy points, man. The difference between the two players, Hill's more scoring dependent and $500 more expensive, right? So when we're having issues locating ideal value on this slate, and you have two guys that profile kind of similarly in terms of what you think they can give you with a ceiling, why not go for the guy that's $500 cheaper in Jakari Lane? He's still playing around 25 minutes. Either way, you got to be careful with these guys, right? Because there are a ton of options coming off of this bench. And by a ton, I mean literally a metric ton of humans that move toward the check-in table at a time. It's tough, but man, we're going to be looking for that value. And Jakari Lane is somebody that just you feel good about a ceiling, but if you get the floor, you get the single-digit fantasy points or whatever, that's not going to do you any favors.
Yeah, those guys are, they're boom-bust turning options, and I think, one of them's probably going to hit. Man, I can't take chances on these guys. Like Rayshon Agee's asking in the chat, like, there's just no turning upside. He doesn't play 20, 29 minutes. There's just
not at that price, man. I don't know. That's tough.
Like you're just really asking. Rylan Griffin, he's too shot dependent. Pop Isaac's kind of interesting. 4,800. He's another one of those guards that can get it going. I like Zach Clements here, man. Former Kansas Jayhawk, man. Seems like his role's growing. Seen a spike in minutes recently, been up into the 20s. Can produce some fantasy points. I think he's kind of cool for a large field tournament, man. But yeah, like there's just so many guys. There's no one on here over 29 minutes. There's only, everyone plays, their allotted minutes, and it's just like who the hell is gonna who's gonna have any efficiency? I guess is the if then you're probably gonna win some money. Yeah, Ali Diva, throw all those guys in there. Ruben Dominguez could legitimately hit like 5 threes tomorrow. And no one would be, he hasn't shot the ball well at all. He's kind of lost his role, but I would be shocked if he hits like 3 threes, So you just don't know with these guys, man. But I feel most comfortable with Hill, Lane, Isaacs for the large field. That's Clements at forward at 4,800. Kind of another one of those teams on this slate where it makes it tough because they play a lot of guys.
What's the most you ever remember spending for Pop Isaacs? It's a lot more than 4,800.
Yeah, what was it, like 7K at Creighton, 8K at Creighton?
It was 8K, right? Like,
yeah, I think it's supposed to be 8K,
and now we're talking 4,800 here.
Well, yeah, because he's not gonna play any minutes. Like,
yeah, I know.
But again, 17.
but you see those. I hate to game log chase here, but you look at what he can do in those minutes. The 27.5 recently, even the 21.5. You're like, all right, like that's enticing, But it's just whose night is it?
If you're watching the A&M games, dude, like it's so annoying to watch. Like every media timeout, there's a fresh 5 on the floor.
Yeah,
just praying that the one guy you selected has any kind of fantasy production in that 4 minutes, man.
How about the other side of this one, Mike? Vanderbilt, 87 implied points on the team total. Tyler Tanner got this big shout out from Stan in the chat. 10.3K, man, like super expensive. I don't know, dude. Like obviously with Duke Miles or Frankie Collins in or out, it's been the Tyler Tanner show. Duke Miles does have the questionable tag, and so does Collins does too, right? Like they've been out a little bit. The Collins news is he's progressing. Miles is probably going to be out. Like this is neither here nor there, but this is for future reference. They're getting the Q tag at least right now. They're all questionable, but don't think they're going to be they're going to end up in there. So Tyler Tanner, more expensive than guys like Ejiofor, Jefferson, Lindeborg. Do you want to pay for that 68-point explosion the other night? And just because that's what I feel like. Tanner's been priced pretty high all season, especially lately, but I don't know that I want to pay for that. And do I feel super confident that he can get me to 4.5x at this, even 4x? I don't like it a lot, man. So I'm not in love with the price tag. Maybe more of a cash play spend up, Mike. I like me some cash plays, and a cash play spend up is you got to do that sometimes, right? But I don't know, man. I'm just not in love with the price tag.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big price tag for him. I mean, he's what, $500 cheaper than Boozer too? Like that's wild to think about. But look at the game environment and look what he's done. The floor is there. I mean, he's gonna get you probably 3 regardless. But yeah, just for tournaments, I don't think so, man. I'd rather take shots at like Tyler Nickel. Like even though the shot dependent guy, right? Like he's 6,100, okay, but man, when he catches fire, he goes crazy. Projects well, but this is more of a matchup base. I don't even know if I'm gonna use him, to be honest with you. He's just so shot dependent. I hate trying to build my lineups with those type of guys, man. Then everybody else is just kind of priced correctly. Like AKO Karake, he's okay. I wouldn't play him at 5,500, more of a 4,500 type guy. Devin McLaughlin, man, just no usage this year. And the peripherals haven't been there. Where are the rebounds this year? Well, Jalen Washington's been gobbling them all up, which is weird because he didn't used to rebound at all. And he's got that boom bust tourney potential. Just put up 30. He's got, 228.5 a couple of weeks ago, but then you see it 6, 13. Like that's just the Jalen Washington experience, especially at 5,800. And then your guy, Chandler Bing here, who I had no idea was a Friends character. He played 32 minutes last game, but usually a mid 22, 24. But if you're going to play, if you told me he was going to play 32 minutes, like I've got some interest there. Projecting him for 26. It's coming out as an okay value play just because his rates aren't great.
Could there be any more of a value play? I had to get the Chandler Bing in there. 3,800 there, man. Yeah, at 32 minutes, obviously, I'm interested. And I don't mind the stack with Tanner, I guess, if you're going to do it. If you're going to spend up for a guy and you really want to get in this game environment and this team total, okay, but I might not do that. I just don't love that price tag. I would rather spend up on one of those other guys. But again, it's not like he can't get there. Mike, before we move on, I saw somebody ask, does Tyler Tanner have that NBA game ready right now? What do you think? Does he have that sort of a game in him?
Nah, he's too small, man. You get eaten a lot defensively. Yeah.
Not
be
quite.
A great college. He could be a great college player. He is already.
Yeah, he definitely is, right? Yeah, so shout out to him for sure. All right, keep the live chat rolling. St. John's at Providence right here. As we get into this game, hit those buttons, like and subscribe if you have not already, because we're getting into the 170s, ladies and gents, broskies and broskettes. 172 implied total here. I got Johnny K, resident Johnny Hoophead in here, loving the cover boy. I remember back, wasn't that long ago, that we were shocked when St. John's lost the first matchup between these two teams at home, 77-71. The Friars getting that one there, but obviously have rebounded nicely, have the Johnnies. This is the fastest game of the night. St. John's 53rd in tempo, and Providence is 17th. So 72 possessions expected, and 89 and 83 points respectively between these two teams. So let's start with the Johnnies and Zuby Ejiofor at 10K flat. And when I say it this time, I mean it. No need to worry. My accountant handles that. One of the top spend ups in any format on this slate. What is the answer that Providence will have for Zuby Ejiofor? Would you tell me, please? None. Would you mind putting that on a platter for me? Last time out, he went 33 and 15 against them. Good. I'm not saying it's going to happen again exactly the same, but when you see that ceiling and some of these other spend ups around this price or even higher are not in game environments even remotely close to as good as this one, Zuby's got to be at least one of your top couple of spend-up options in the whole pool. Mike, what are your thoughts on Zuby, Cover Boy, and the rest of the Johnnies?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a lot of Zuby. Where I'm not, I'm going to have Hopkins because of the revenge narrative. We all played him last time. Didn't do anything. This is like I said, it's the real revenge game this time. So, yeah, it's at Providence. Expecting him to narrative street, right? Going to be firing him up, man. The rates aren't great because Dylan Mitchell, I don't know, man. I still love playing Mitchell when he's like over 7K. It starts to get a little hairy there just because he doesn't take a lot of shots. The Sox quite haven't been there for him this year either. But one of the safest value plays, and the guy that I'm just going to go to the well a lot, is going to be Isaiah Sellers. The backcourt rotation for St. John's is all over the place. Darling, Sannon, Jackson. But the one guy is going to play 30, 33, 34, maybe 37 minutes is going to be Isaiah Sellers because Rick Pitino trusts him. I think he has a sub 10% turnover rate. He's a guy that can hit a lot of threes. Doesn't do a lot else. He can get you some assists every now and then, especially in this type of game. I think I took his assist over prop last time these two teams played, and he had like 4 or 5. I think it was set at like 2.5 or something. So, yeah, I mean, I think Isaiah Sellers was one of the best value plays on the slate, just based on the context of like he's in an 89 team total as like, I mean, I want to say lead guard because he kind of is the de facto lead guard. Yeah, there's just some great plays in this environment. So, yeah, Zuby, Isaiah Sellers, Bryce Hopkins, all look fantastic. Obviously, our projections really like all these guys, man. Just a lot of 89 team total, Jay. Like in this tempo, you're gonna have a bunch of rebounds, a bunch of stock opportunities. Like it's just gonna be good times.
On the other side of this game, Providence is implied to earn themselves 83 points, but a little bit harder to pinpoint some of the guys that are going to be the stars as they search for answers with their rotation. Jameer Jones is questionable, missed last game, undisclosed, missed Wednesday, obviously. But I don't know, man, a nice team total, but the pricing on this site is kind of annoying with the amount of guys that they have checking in.
Yeah, but I think Jones is going to play. He was sick last game from some of the stuff that we've seen. I don't know what to do here. You got Jason Edwards back. So, like, Sellers and Vox, they're not going to play ceiling 37, 38 minutes. They're going to be down to the 32 range. And it's just, they're priced up like they're playing 37, 38 minutes. Even with this game environment, man, there's just not really anybody here you can trust. If Jones is out, it gets a little more sticky. Maybe somebody like a Duncan Powell if he's in the starting lineup. But even that is like you're going up against, the third best front court. I'll say Michigan 1, Florida 2, and then St. John's 3 as far as the 3 through 5 spots. So, yeah, it's just not going to be a lot of fun. I don't have any interest in any of these guys unless you think Jason Edwards YOLOs, because he could definitely go crazy and put up like a 30 spot. He makes a bunch of shots, but that's just how he's always been. If you beat me playing Jason Edwards, I like congratulations. Like that. That's amazing, to be honest.
Talking about guys that can just get hot and change the outcome of an entire slate, just nuke a slate. Edwards is that guy. Like, I don't know if I want to spend $6,500 for him in this. I mean, if there's a game environment to do it, it's probably this one. You know, I mean, if his shot's going, he's going to be a big part of that high scoring game. So we'll see if he can get it done for Providence. All right, hit those like and subscribe buttons. The chat is cooking, Mike, for sure.
Yeah, Ian Jackson is not a point guard. How did that experiment go? It didn't last very long. It lasted one scrimmage, I think.
Yeah, well, we can't all be natural born distributors. You know, it's very few of us in this world, so it happens. Whatever, you know. No, yeah, no, just kidding. Jokes. It's just jokes. Stan saying Edwards is a bucket, but not tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see, man. That's why they roll the ball out there. No, I'm just kidding. We love hearing it. Stan, keep it rolling. The chat is on fire, and we'd love to see it. So what we don't love to see is a 144-point implied total after living in the 170s for a little bit. And that's what we get with Northwestern and Nebraska here, who won the first matchup between these two teams, 77 to 58.
Now they're on the road now.
Okay, my friends. 8 guys did check in for Northwestern last game, so at least it's not a 10 or 11 guy rotation, I guess, if you want to find some silver lining, and we like to try to do that here on One and Done. But again, on the road, horrible team total here. Let's start with Martinelli, right? Their leader, 8,700. The rates are killer. 29% usage, 31% shot rate, 22% rebound rate. He is the engine that makes this team go. And his price tag is even down a little bit, Mike, but it's a tough ask for sure. I think we're going to have to pass on him in this one.
Yeah.
We got some cheap guards, though, if we want to spend it on this Northwestern side that we can look at.
Yeah, I think unfortunately we have to look at them. Jaden Reed at 5,600, that's a scary price tag. Like, he had a really nice game against Michigan, but before that, man, he struggling to get over 20 fantasy points. So I don't know that I love this spot traveling to Nebraska. Probably fading the projection on Jaden Reed here. Jake West, man, 13% shot rate. Like, he just plays a lot of minutes, back-to-back 35 minutes. It's risky. But I think you have to consider him because he plays so many minutes. Like, it's just one of those things that's pretty annoying for the slate. So, yeah, while I'm not in love with Northwestern, the projections for these guards are going to like it just because of their price tags and how many minutes they play and their involvement in the offense.
Those are all factors that we have to consider, right? No matter what. The projections, sometimes they look all rosy, but we know we got to take other things into consideration as well. All right, we got a lot of masked jokes in the chat as we creep on towards the Cornhusker side here. A big team total and a super condensed rotation here. And interesting that we find Sam Hoiberg at the top of our value on this slate. A lot of that, Mike, we've talked about it. These are matchup based. It has a lot to do with the minutes. His prices come down, and he's going to play 35 or more. So at least have to consider playing him in cash games. I know that's not what Darren wants to hear, but you got to play him in cash, and he's probably not too horrible of a tourney option either.
Yeah.
He's in, again, another guy in that 7K range that you can consider if you'd like. Projections say he's going to do well, and I think he'll be a solid cash play.
Yeah, I like him and Mass for cash. They have tournament upside too. The thing with Rink Mass though, like, yeah, we're probably saying, oh, everybody loves. Why is he not projecting as well? Well, one, he doesn't provide any stocks, like, at all. I've got a better chance of blocking a shot than Rink Mass. So, well, it's just kind of one of those things, man. Maybe, like, I'm not looking behind,
Sure.
But
the old Iverson block,
yeah, exactly, the Iverson block. Yeah, but for Mass, it's like and he's shown that the last couple of games, he's got to have a big like scoring performance. And I'm not saying he can't do it. Why are they gonna? They've had a lot of tough games recently. They had that stretch, right, that we've been talking about. I just don't think this is a ranked mass spot for DFS, man. I kind of like Bryce Sanford for the big tournament. Like, yeah, he's shot dependent. But when this dude just gets it going, he can flamethrow. And I don't love the shot dependent guys over 6,500 or whatever. But I do like it when I think no one's gonna play this guy, especially when he's direct leverage off of a rank mass. So I think he's kind of a cool tournament play. I'm not saying I'm all in or anything, or even 10%, right? But I think he's gonna make one or two of my lineups. Jamarcus Lawrence, just okay at 6,700. Brandon Frager's another guy that can get hot. They're applied for 79, man, but it's just, a lot of good plays, right? But more like these guys have really good floors because the rotation is just so condensed. Like, Mass probably going to play 31, Jamarcus Lawrence 32, Sanford 35, Wilbur 35. Like, they're just on the floor. So whether or not you get a ceiling out of one of these guys is a bit tough, but I think one can definitely get you a ceiling in a tournament. If I had to pick, man, I would like take a shot on at least the leverage from Bryce Sanford, but Hoiberg and Rink Mass can also get it done in a tournament too. So,
well, I mean, what's more likely to happen here? We see, Rank Mask, obviously, you look at the last couple of games, 38 and 43.5 fantasy points. But am I paying 7,300 to chase what feels like a couple of his ceiling performances here? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it feels like he should be able to get you to 5X based on what he's been getting into, but I don't know that I'm that comfortable having too many shares of him in this one.
Well,
I don't know.
Give you any stocks for it's like if he can give you some stocks,
yeah.
It's like you don't get that. Those are the ones that really vault you in tournaments. It's like, okay, I need this dude to like shoot 70% from the field and basically get every single rebound like while he's on the floor.
Yeah,
it's tough.
You can't even trip. He can trip over like a steal, broski. Like, just give me something, All right, good stuff. Let us know. It sounds like a lot of you in the chat are going to play Masked hard and heavy tomorrow. Let us know what you think. Are you going to be 50% on Masked? Are you playing even more of him than we are? We'd love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you have not already. And we've got one more on this slate, Mike, as we are wrapping things up here on a great episode of One and Done. I wish I had better news for the chat. I don't. 142 implied points in this one. Another stinker. I wish I could close it out with some 187-point implied total and everybody's top 5 in tempo. Now we're not. But at least we got the Jayhawks, right, who are heading to Iowa State, a couple of fantastic basketball teams. So from a basketball watching perspective, probably what I'm going to enjoy watching. From a fantasy point perspective, a little bit more difficult to be excited about, right? So Kansas won the first matchup at home, 84-63. And since then, Iowa State has just, they figured it out. They're just a really good basketball team, Mike, and they're going to be looking for some revenge in this one. Both teams top 10 defensive efficiency, right? 67 possessions expected. So let's start on the Jayhawks side here. 68 implied points with my guy, Darren BD Peterson, and the BD stands for business decision. He has a questionable tag, and it says that he's available allegedly for this one at 8,400. Obviously, a super volatile play. Doesn't really do much outside of scoring right now. So on the road, it's a tough price tag, man. Like, that he's the best player on the floor. That's not what this is about. Yeah. This is about trying to get, if I'm spending 8,400 on someone, I'm trying to get 40 fantasy points out of them. And I don't think that Darren Peterson is in a place to do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, like Warren said, over under 1.5 halves played. It's so good. I mean, I can't do it. If he gets you a 35, he's still not going to bury you if you don't have him.
That's fair.
I still know that people are going to play him though, because it's at Iowa State. Like, but granted, he could drop 35 on them, and we're like, oh my God, it's Darren Peterson. Well, you know what I mean? But the odds of him maybe not playing the second half are also up there too. So I just don't love it, because when he's in too, it takes away from Council, Trey Wyatt for Ibadinga, and it really takes away from Tiller. I can't love any of these guys. Nobody really projects well on this side. Kind of ugly, man. Like they're all priced up. It just doesn't make a lot of sense in the context of the slate. Could one of these guys do it? Yeah, but it's on the road at Iowa State, which is a top 5 environment there. So yeah, not loving it, man.
But doing good even in a consideration for you as a spend up?
Nah, just
not even
where I get to Ejiofor, who just went for 33 and 15. So I just
makes sense.
Probably not for me.
Makes sense. And not even Tiller if Peterson's out. Can't do it.
Can't do it, man.
All right, understood. Iowa State side here. Say again, sorry.
I said team totals just too gross, man. Tough road environment.
Totally. Iowa State side, 74 points here. 8 guys checking in, but we know the big 3 are going to play 30-plus minutes. Man, just even with that talent you talked about on the Kansas side, and you were saying, it's just tough to get in on that side. This is just tough. This is just a tough game overall to want to get into. But on this side, we do have some big names capable of doing some big things as well. And it starts with Joshua Jefferson at 9,900, just a tick under the 5-digit club there. He's been so good, like just so good. Only had 28 fantasy points in the first matchup. So somebody that's going to be looking to prove a point in this one. I always love the second time around when you have 2 teams that are filled with this much talent, the adjustments that are made, not just with the coaches, but with how these players are figuring each other out as well. Jefferson's so talented, man. I just don't think I can go there. I just think there's better spend up options.
Yeah.
But, again, he could, he can
it's
get
like
there.
all these guys. Like it's literally, there's 6 guys legit, 4 on Kansas and really this year. I'm not gonna put Monsilovich in there just because like he doesn't do anything other than shoot the ball. But Lipsy and Jefferson, and Lipsy's popping in the projections. Obviously, he's got the assist rate, the 3.5% steal rate, going to be on the floor for 34 plus minutes, man. Like this is a pretty solid spot for him. So yeah, I just think that, when you look at it, it's like, I don't know, man. It seems like a very defined slate unless we get some type of injury news tomorrow that might change some things up, but it seems kind of defined on like what we want to do here. Now, can you get different? Absolutely, because if everybody thinks it's going to be one way, right, and play something different, play one of these studs from one of these games that, doesn't project as well, it goes to overtime, and there you go, right? We've seen that happen plenty of times, and that's happened to me many a times, getting chased down by these, like, the lowest game total by Notre Dame going into double overtime 2 Saturdays ago. So, yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and it doesn't mean lucky in terms of just throwing a dart at a fantasy guy, but lucky that a game goes to overtime, right? You could make all the right plays, and then somebody gets an extra 10, 15 minutes, whatever, how many guys they have in that game, and then before you know it, you get chased down, and then you just shake their hand and you move on.
Oh, yeah.
But
some of us
again, some of us think about it forever and are bitter and whatever. Not me though. I'm just kidding. Man, the chat has been on fire, including, I will acknowledge this, Darren. I will not make any Coach of the Year predictions for Iowa State. I will not be the jinx that I was on Otzelberger the year before. But obviously, I'm a big fan of what they're doing down there. That's a great basketball team for sure. It might be Darren Peterson's only opportunity to play there in Ames, Iowa. I hadn't thought, Kobe would have played. He would have suited up. Though only once a year they go through there. Kobe would have done it, Darren. I mean, I'm just kidding. That's just joking around, guys and gals. Let's get to these core 4s before I crash out talking about Darren Peterson. I'll start as the cash core 4 like I normally do, man. How about that? Let's do that. Let's start the cash. We're not going to shake things up tonight. Start the cash core. In a slate where finding guys under 5K is going to be tough, you got to look for games and high totals overall. Ozias Sellers is going to play 32 or more minutes. He's at the highest team total, and you can get him for 4,900. I love him for cash, right? Cole Surt is another guy, 5,600, takes a ton of shots, right? 20 or more fantasy points feels like the floor. Just a solid cash play. I told you earlier, I raved about Xavier Edmonds in this great game environment. I love the matchup for him, 7,100. There's just too many guys that I'm comfortable with around this 7K mark, 72, 7,300, and that makes me uncomfortable, Mike. But I do like Xavier Edmonds at 7,100. And then I'll say, about Mast, you mentioned it too. It's the floor, right? So if we're looking at cash game floor, rank Mast at 7,300. I'm not expecting him to go 5 or 6x here or anything crazy, but I do think he's somebody, if you're just building some cash lineups, that you got to consider right there. So you got it flashed up on your screen there. Even if you play with all 4 guys in the core, that still leaves you with $6,225 per player left to do whatever you want with whatever your heart desires. That's pretty generous right there. But obviously, these core 4s are not necessarily – you don't have to build your entire lineup around them, but guys that you can, definitely have more shares of. But, that looks like a pretty solid starting 4 to me right there, Mike, for a cash game. How about –
I know you got the Q tag just popped up on Serta about a couple of hours ago, but it's saying he's probable. So okay. I don't think we don't need to really worry about it. But those are the things that change everything, right, Jay? If you get the 1 Q tag, it's like, we're in the chat, we're like, oh snap, like this guy's gonna gotta play this guy. He's 3,400 or whatever.
I feel like with that last name, he should know somebody with a good mattress to sleep on. Okay, so he should get a good night's rest for sure. Should Cole Serta. We'll see if he can figure that out. And with that being said, it's time to get to this tournament core for a little bit of fire.
A little bit of dirty pop.
Fire emojis in the chat here. Here we go. Forget the curveball. Bring us the heater. What do you got for the tournament core for, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about going with one of the Aggies, but it's like I don't know which one to pick. So I think it's a lot easier to pick Jake West for Northwestern. One, he's not. I think a lot of people will go to him, but I put him in the tournament because it's more of a risk play based on the team total and the fact that he's going to shoot a ton. But he's on the floor for 35 minutes, so we're looking for guys that can get us obviously some fantasy points under the 5K mark. But if you wanted to choose, the Hill, the Isaacs, from the Aggies, the Clements, you could definitely do that as well. Carson Tao or Brady Kaler, one of those 5K essential Notre Dame forwards in the 78 team total in a solid matchup for those guys. Morris Johnson, just think he's going to do some work. And then Zuby Ejiofor, we saw what he did last time against Providence. If you want to play Bryce Hopkins, by all means, right? Like that will obviously save you a lot of coin. But yeah, I think that as of right now, Jay, it stands pretty firm that we're probably not messing with a lot of, like a quarter of the slate, right? Like we're probably not messing with a lot of Kansas and Iowa State. If you want to use Clemson, yuck, but Oklahoma State's probably a cross off, right? Like, so we kind of got a defined slate where you're probably not using Vanderbilt much unless you want to cash game Tanner. It really just kind of comes into this box that we're living in, man. Just finding the right combination of guys, and you're probably crossing off Providence too, so even in a high team total, just with all our guys. Maybe unless we don't play Jason Edwards, but yeah. So this one popping up with 56.75. QR code, Stan. We'll throw the QR code for the one and done tournament, man. We'll also post it on Twitter as we cover up Jay's face. Oh man, did you just throw that into the other side of the man?
Yeah, sure. That's what happened. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, 100%. It wasn't Eric moving it behind the scenes. It was totally me doing that and moving my finger away. Yeah.
I still believe in magic.
Don't get me singing. It's not that kind of night. Do you believe in magic? All right, I did it. All right, there we go. We got it in. We got the one and done QR code over there in that corner now. We've got it down below. Mike in the live chat flashing up right there. Yeah, I feel like it's the Brady Bunch. Like, oh, that's whatever to say, Mike. There we go. I love it. Moving everything around here, but the only thing that we hope is moving around is that cash into your DraftKings account tomorrow after cashing 5K in that big tournament. We'd definitely love to see that. And we want to hear about your green screen. So make sure after you win, tag us at One and Done CBB on all of the socials, mostly Twitter over there, X, whatever it's called. Go over there and tag us and let us know. Show us your green screens. We want to hear from you. If you want a one and done avatar for DraftKings, we would love it. If you would flash one of those up on your screen or in the app or whatever you want to do, let us know. We can get you one of those avatars if you want to have a one and done Abby on DK. No Rodney Terry news tonight, Darren. Unfortunately, I'll make sure you'll be the first person that I come to when the next time I want to talk anything about Rodney Terry. I promise you, sir. So, all that being said, good stuff, Mike. Always a pleasure to be on the screen with you. Shout out to Nape traveling back in his space shuttle back to the Earth, back to home, wherever that may be. Good to see that Nape is coming back in, and good to see our guy Eric, the Blue, in the studio tonight, pushing all of those buttons. Good to see him, and good to see all of you as well. Let's win some bread tomorrow, ladies and gents. And what else we got, Mike? Anything? No, I think that's good. Let's get out of here, man. We'll be back for our Sunday recap show, but we're gonna win a lot of money before then. All right. So until next time, that guy over there, El Capitan himself, the captain of the one and done ship. And if you don't know, now you know. I am JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you. Peace.